A new Sooner poll finds that 62% of likely voters support State Question 779, the education tax. It asks voters to adopt a constitutional amendment raising the state sales tax by 1 penny. Opponents say it will hurt the working poor, while supporters say the future of Oklahoma children is at stake. Proponents of State Question 779 say because Oklahoma lawmakers have failed education for many years, raising the state sales tax by 1 cent is the only way to give teachers a much-needed across-the-board pay hike of $5,000 a year.
Every day we wait for the legislature to do the right thing is a day a child goes with an untrained teacher. It's a day that my nephew in Tishomingo, Oklahoma has to worry about whether his teacher is going to go to Texas for better pay.
Amber England, the executive director of Stand for Children Oklahoma, was invited by Oklahoma Watch to take part in a forum this week on the pros and cons of 779. Dave Bond, the chief executive officer for the Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs Impact, represented the opposition to the sales tax hike.
Our concern is doing so by increasing the sales tax burden on working Oklahomans and working Oklahoma families to the highest in the country is not the right way to go about it, and it's actually unnecessary. This would, as Warren said, lift our combined state and local sales tax burden to the highest permanent sales tax burden of any state in America. That's real.
What do you tell people who want to do the right thing for Oklahoma's educators and school children, but feel like this tax would take too much money from people who can afford to pay at least?
I would say, are you okay with being last in the nation in what we spend to educate our children and what we pay our teachers? Forever, we could say, thank God for Mississippi. We can't say that anymore. Now Mississippi's saying, thank God for Oklahoma.
The Oklahoma Policy Institute is not endorsing State Question 779. Analyst Gene Perry says his group is staying neutral.
We do say that education clearly needs more funding to be able to do the job that we need it to do. At the same time, if we at Oklahoma Policy Institute were designing how to get more money, this is not the way we would do it, because it is increasing the one tax in Oklahoma that's already pretty high and has the biggest impact on lower income families.
Perry says the Institute is working to educate voters about the state question. If passed, the new sales tax would take effect July 1st, 2017, and is projected to raise $615 million in its first year. 60% of it would fund the $5,000 a year across-the-board pay raise for teachers and also pay for extra incentive dollars to keep exceptional teachers in the classroom. 9.5% would go to schools to pay for reading improvement programs. Higher education would get 19.25%. Career and technology education, 3.25%, and 8% would go to early childhood education. Tulsa Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Deborah Gist is not telling folks how to vote, but says,
well, it's not that I don't want to talk about it, it's that by law, there's rules about my role. And so what I can do is I can make sure people know how important it is for our teachers to be paid well and how they're not right now, and I can certainly encourage people to vote, and I will be doing that very enthusiastically.
Superintendent of Dewey Public Schools, Vince Vincent, says the 1 cent state sales tax hike is just a partial solution.
It seems like it's good-willed in a time when it's much needed, and so I'm very positive in terms of it. It just seems like, though, there's got to be a long-term solution, and that's probably not the long-term solution.
The tax won't help ease the stress teachers are under in the classroom.
I was at a meeting today with a principal from Bodine Elementary School in Oklahoma City Public Schools. She was in tears talking to me about the challenges that she faces. Last week, a third grade teacher in her building packed up her things and left because she had 31 kids in her class. That is a reality in every district across this state.
There are about 1,000 unfilled teaching positions in the state, and hundreds of classrooms have been filled by people who have been given emergency certifications to teach, but do not meet the legal requirements to be a teacher. The shortage of teachers exists even though this year approximately 1,500 teaching positions and 1,300 support worker jobs have been lost to budget cuts in Oklahoma schools. Will that 5,000 keep teachers here?
I think that it would make a difference for a lot of teachers. You know, it's obviously not the only thing. There's issues with the resources in the classroom that they have, class sizes and materials and administrative burdens. But Oklahomans who are living here, and like most Oklahomans, don't want to move.
The Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs believes it remains the legislature's role to fund education and teacher pay raises. And Dave Bond says the OCPA has earmarked money that could be shifted to education by lawmakers.
It's a menu of $750 million in options. About $720 million of that would be annually recurring savings if those reforms were done.
Many attending the forum don't have any faith in the legislature and believe lawmakers have placed taxpayers between a rock and a hard place.
When oil was high, the legislature misused and misspent the money, and we still got nothing. So I don't think that's a good reason. And I don't want this pie-in-the-sky Governor Fallon's plan that nobody knows because she doesn't have one. So my question is, if not this, specifically, realistically, what? And if not now, when? Because I am tired of waiting for my kids.
I would say you're absolutely right. I mean, in the years that Republicans have controlled the state capitol, they've failed to take care of the area of government in Oklahoma that more people care about than anything else, and that's keeping good teachers in the classroom.
You can view the entire Oklahoma Watch Out Forum on State Question 779 on our website at www.oeta.tv/ONR Extra.